It is 3 o'clock on a Tuesday afternoon. This is Queen City News Plus Live, coming to you live from the Blue Room here at Queen City News. I'm Derek Dellinger alongside the prodigal son. He returns. Anchor Brian Blakely, after being out for a couple of weeks for some surgery. He is back in the Blue Room here to help us out for the 3 p.m. show. We also have meteorologist Brandon Lawson and producer-director Austin McCollum here on what has been a rather busy day. First off, Brian, welcome back.
Derek, it's good to be back, man. I tell you, total knee joint replacement surgery is not fun for anybody, but it's a constant rehab. We're still in it for a long time, and I'm able to ice while I'm here and elevate, and we certainly appreciate everyone who's been well-wishing, and you guys as well, so I appreciate everything.
Yeah, well, it is nice to have you back. We might talk about a little bit about it later, but we do have a bunch of news to get to today. One of the big stories, in fact, just in the last 2 hours or so, there's been some new images and also some video released in regards to the Nancy Guthrie search. Now, you might be seeing some of this doorbell camera video here. Apparently, the story that we know about this, at least so far, is that Nancy Guthrie didn't exactly have a full subscription to keep the videos in the online database. However, Google apparently was able to find some remnants of what was on that camera in one of their servers in the database, and they were able to get it this morning. They were able to release some of this video, actually, just within the past couple of hours or so. And this has been actually one of the first big breaks in the case that has been released from authorities.
Yeah, huge break in the case right now, being able to get these images out as a potential suspect here. And one of the things that, as you're talking about, Google was able to go back in there, their executives, because they own the Nest camera that Nancy Guthrie had at her house in Tucson, as they were able to go back and recreate these images from the back systems there that they were working. And you could see exactly who this potential suspect is outside of the house. And there's a lot of things you can pick up from this right now, because the digital forensics teams are going to be able to understand exactly what this person weighed, how high they are, what their height is. A lot of things are giving us, there's a lot of tells about this individual, this potential suspect that is outside the house, the gait of them walking up right now. Huge break for when really being able to find out who this person is. And one of the things we found too about this in crowdsourcing. A lot of people, when you put this type of information out there, and this potential suspect, there's somebody out there that's going to know who this person is, and they'll be able to contact the authorities to help them go along. Because in the past 10 days, we really haven't seen much information except what we've seen from the Guthries and coming out from the authorities about what are the breakthroughs in this case.
And authorities do maintain, and especially when we have security camera video like this of a person in a ski mask. By the way, they also had a gun with them as well. But a person in a ski mask, you can't necessarily see who they are. But this is one of those important things where authorities remind people, pay attention to the way they're walking, pay attention to some of their actions, pay attention to what you can see to see if this is someone that might be familiar. This is what we hear all the time from CMPD when they are looking for a suspect in cases. Local authorities here, and that's what they're telling people here. It's just because you don't see the face doesn't necessarily mean you don't know who this person is.
And one of the things, too, is about one of those pictures there, you can see the eyes. And the eyes always tell a lie.
You also see the outline of the mouth as well.
Outline of the mouth. And not only if there's no facial recognition that's going to be able to be used, the digital forensics teams back at Quantico and the FBI, they're going to be able to recreate a lot of this with the use of AI about who this person is and that suspect. They'll be able to zero in a lot of that, and they'll use the crowdsourcing, obviously, from everyone out there who will send in the tips.
And also paying attention to the clothing as well will also probably be a big thing as well. Not only the ski mask, but also the backpack that the guy's wearing.
Huge development.
And everything that's there. We'll be keeping you up to date on those new developments as they happen. In the meantime, there have been some action that's been happening in Washington, or there has been some action that has been happening in Washington, if I can talk today, that involves ICE and the Customs Border Patrol. They were testifying before Congress where the head of ICE mainly defended the actions that were taking place in Minneapolis, including the actions that did result in the deaths of Renee Good and Alex Preddy.
Yeah, and they're testifying before Congress as they are trying to shore up some money to get for that department right now, because that's the one issue that's been held up, and that deadline is tomorrow, is Friday night, for the Department of Homeland Security to get funding on that. So a lot of people are questioning and grilling the ICE executives and of these agencies, testifying and facing these questionings about how they're prosecuting immigration enforcement inside places like Minneapolis, here in Charlotte. They want to know more about exactly why they're doing what they're doing and what those numbers are, because it comes at a time when there's been a failing public support right now for how things have been carried out for the Trump immigration policies.
Yeah. In fact, this comes as operations in Minnesota are starting to wind down as well. This is actually in response to some of what has been happening up there, but also the Trump administration is basically saying they're winding down of operations, or at least scaling back of operations in Minneapolis, came as a result of authorities there basically saying that they would keep their end of the bargain, or at least in regards to handling immigration cases there, specifically in Minnesota.
And that budget is the big concern about how much money they want to give, because it's Customs Enforcement.
It was like $10 billion extra dollars.
And and they're under a massive hiring boom right now to try to get people. And there's questions about those hiring practices. And if you give them money, more money to do some of these things going forward, there's a lot of questions about how that's being handled. It's not just from Democrats, it's from Republicans as well.
And Democrats, for their part, they're basically saying, hey, at this point, if you want this money for Homeland Security, there needs to be some concessions made, and namely in regards to having body-worn cameras, which we know that the Department of Homeland Security has started doing, also showing their faces, and also presenting actual IDs as well to those that they are interacting with. Another story happening today, this one also happening nationally and internationally. This is the lawmakers, they're getting a closer look at some of the data from the Epstein files. In fact, there's a Republican lawmaker, Cynthia Loomis from Wyoming. She says she now understands, and this is a direct quote here, what the big deal is with the files, noting that some victims in the files that she was able to see are as young as 9 years old.
Yeah, it's incredible, some of the things that are being coming out. And it's the congressman... Congress lawmakers here are being able to go see at the DOJ, these reviewing the unredacted files that have been released by the DOJ. And some of those say it's really quite alarming and disturbing that it involves a lot of people from foreign agencies, foreign intelligence services, foreign countries that are involved. And it's very, very far reaching. And you said you can't forget about the victims in here when you're talking about a lot of young girls, 9 years old, as part of one of the youngest girls. Representative Thomas Maskey, a Republican from Kentucky, and Ro Khanna from California, a Democrat, they have led the charge to uncover more of these details related to this wealthy inner circle of business owners, billionaires who may have been involved in a lot of these type of crimes, including allegations of running a sex trafficking operation that involved a lot of foreign countries with these underage girls.
Yes, and others have noted that even though they haven't necessarily said those names, that what they were able to see in the unredacted documents includes people who are, shall we say, of high-profile nature, even though they did not necessarily name them specifically.
Yeah, 6 people for sure is what they were coming out and saying, that those names of them likely incriminated themselves by their inclusion in the Epstein files. But the question is now, what's the DOJ going to do about some of these people?
Yeah, and that's a big question right now, but there's also some of the other additional testimony that might also be taking place as well. We know the Clintons are expected to be testifying in the next little bit because they have agreed to that. But as far as any others are concerned, we don't really know the specifics of that yet. Number 4 story today, a bit more local, and this one is actually kind of a big deal, especially if you live in Union County. There is a confirmed measles case there. This is on top of one that was actually just a couple years ago in Lincoln County. That goes to show that these measles cases that have been happening in the Carolinas, mainly in South Carolina, but they have been inching across the border because we've had cases here in Mecklenburg, but also Lincoln and now Union County, that they are present, and there's fears that where there's one, there's more. In fact, the specific interaction apparently involved this grade school child who apparently does not go to school, may be homeschooled, but did have some interactions at an urgent care. But they're telling anyone who was at that urgent care they may have been exposed and they need to get tested.
Yeah, and that's one of the things too about when you have a measles case like this. Where were you? The contact traces to find out where have you been. So when you go to an urgent care that was on Independence Boulevard between 5:20 p.m. and 8:15 p.m. on February 3rd, they want to know who was there because they may have been infected, especially if you were unvaccinated for the measles. So 18 confirmed cases right now across North Carolina, 3 that we know are in Mecklenburg County. But it really comes upon the huge outbreak in the upstate of Spartanburg in South Carolina,
which is not too far down the road.
Nearly 900 cases of measles. 90% of those are involving unvaccinated children.
Yes, and this is why public health leaders are basically urging people to get the MMR vaccine if they can, to prevent any further spread and also at least any complications that might come as a result of getting measles. Number 5 story is one that kind of caught our attention last night, and not necessarily for the right reasons. This was actually at the Hornets game last night. Involved a fight between the Hornets and the Pistons, and this was shall we say not a good one. This is what we know about what so far.
I say it was a good one. It was fun to watch, and it was great. I would say it's a black eye, obviously, no pun intended.
It's a spectrum scuffle.
Scuffle.
But it led to 4 people getting ejected, 4 players getting ejected. Midway through the third quarter, there was a foul between Moussa Diabate and Jalen Duren. They butted heads. That led to a fight that also involved Miles Bridges and Isaiah Stewart. All four wound up being ejected. But on top of that, you have the coach, too, who was ejected a little bit later on in the game.
Yeah, and a lot of people are saying, you know what, I love Charles Lee for doing that. He's instilled quite a culture right now that you can see on this 9-game winning streak. They were going for 10. That was obviously not happening last night with the win over the Pistons had here. Yeah. But Charles Lee, a lot of people are saying, hey, get behind your teammates. That really, you stood up for your team. And also, indicative of the Hornets is what we've seen over the last 4 or 5 years. The Hornets have not shown any kind of fight and kind of competitive nature or spirit when you get into this part of the season the last 4 or 5 years. And now you're seeing, after a 9-game winning streak, the team playing very well as a team. And you can see them really going and playing well together and standing up for one another. And you've got to really understand and believe that. And Miles Bridges just posted on Instagram, sorry, Hornets Nation, sorry for what I did, but I was standing up for my teammates. Love that.
Yes. However, that didn't necessarily result in a win for the Hornets last night. We do need to emphasize Pistons did beat the Hornets 110-104.
Yeah, and unfortunately, we're going to have to see what the NBA says about this whole fight that made headlines as well. Yeah. So let's talk about the weather right now as we are looking over the Spectrum Center. And a gorgeous day. Feels like spring. I know it was 71 degrees at my car temperature.
Yeah, and I didn't have to bring my jacket on when I went to lunch.
Yeah, it was really nice. It's hot inside the Spectrum Center. It's hot outside. That's how things are going today. I also want to give a shout out to Joey Ellis, man. Incredible shooting of that fight last night. That was a great.
By the way, we're working on a story for that coming up for Queen City News at 4. So just heads up.
Yeah, temperatures low 70s today. We reached 72 so far at Charlotte. Wouldn't be shocked if we get a little bit warmer than that. Guys, it's the warmest year we've seen since January 10th. So exactly a month ago, we had 74 degrees. And now we're finally warming things back up again. So let's get a look at some of our current temperatures right now. We have dropped to 70 in Charlotte. We've got some clouds moving in over the Carolinas right now ahead of a cold front. 72 in Gastonia down the Gas House. Hickory at 70 degrees. 61 right now in Boone. So even the mountains are getting in on the warmer air. It's going to help them thaw out from some of the snow they received over the weekend. So we're some 20 degrees warmer compared to what we were at this time yesterday. A big reason for the warm-up, we've got a nice southwesterly flow. Wind speeds anywhere between 5 to 10 miles per hour right now, 19 mile per hour wind right now in the mountains. So again, that is a sustained wind. So again, that nice southwesterly breeze is bringing in warmer air from the southwest. You look to our southwest, you look at spots like Houston, New Orleans right now in the mid to upper 70s. That warmer air continues to push our way. Now, the only reason we're kind of cooling things down a little bit is obviously because the sun goes down tonight. But notice 50s later tonight, that's actually still going to be mild for this time of year because clouds will be rolling in. Clouds act as a blanket. It helps keep you warmer, just like the covers help keep you warmer in your bed at night. The clouds act as a cover for us. So we'll be staying in the low to mid 50s tonight, 40s up in the mountains. Here comes those clouds. You can see that cold front back to the west. That cold front is essentially going to be bringing our rain chances up as we go into tonight and also through early Wednesday. So come up here in just a bit. We'll talk about how long this warm-up is going to stick around. And then we've got some rain chances to talk about, not just for the middle of the week, but rain increasing for the weekend. The beneficial rain for the area. We'll time it out for you coming up here in just a little bit.
As long as it's a warmer rain than what we have been seeing.
It will definitely be a warmer. It won't be a snowy rain.
Okay. Done with that cold weather. Right?
Yeah, I think we're all done with that. Coming up, we've been telling you about this merger that's trying to happen between Netflix and Warner Brothers over. They just want to get together because new media reality, all that other stuff. The thing about it is, though, is that Paramount has been coming in and trying to come in with offers and offers and offers. There's another offer on the table now. I'll tell you more about that coming up. This is Queen City News Plus Live.
Welcome back to Queen City News Plus Live, 3:16 on a Tuesday afternoon here as you're taking a live look outside across the Charlotte skyline from our West Charlotte Tower Cam here at Queen City News Studios. Meteorologist Brandon Lawson is going to have more on this gorgeous weather we're having today. Here, 70 degrees plus. Hopefully that will continue. We'll find out here in just a little bit. Derek, before we went to the break, you were talking about that big deal involving Paramount, Warner Brothers Discovery, and Netflix, how it's been going back and forth.
Yes.
Warner Brothers wants to sell they want to acquire Netflix.
Netflix wants to acquire Warner Brothers.
Yes. Paramount does not want that to happen. They want to acquire Warner Brothers.
Yeah, they want to acquire Warner Brothers.
They won't let that other deal go through.
So yeah, and Netflix and Warner Brothers, they've already agreed to a deal. Now, what we need to emphasize here is that these days, Warner Brothers just isn't Warner Brothers. It's Warner Brothers Discovery. Warner Brothers Discovery includes Warner Brothers, HBO, the movie studio, CNN, Discovery Channel, TLC, all those other cable channels. What Netflix wants is just the movie studio and HBO Max. They want the streams, they want the movie library, they want all that good stuff. And there's an agreement in principle, basically, for them to just kind of go on and just try to figure out exactly what's going on. Now, there is a chance that some of this might be held up regulatorily and all that other stuff. The thing about it is, though, is that while this might be held up, and while all this action is happening, Paramount's coming in with their own offer, and they've been trying to sweeten the deal.
Huge sweeten.
Just basically make it, it's like, hey, we'll pay the breakup fee if you guys decide not to have that merger with Netflix, and hey, we'll do this and that. We'll do various other things to make this deal work. And Paramount, for their part, they want the whole thing. They want the cable channels. They want the studio stuff. And anyway, one thing you have to realize here, and this is what we need to emphasize for this story, no matter what happens here, this is going to change how you view movies. Yeah. This is going to change how you see movies. This is also going to change the movie industry itself. And we can't emphasize that enough.
No, and it's like, how does this end? Because
and TV industry for that matter.
Because this is supposed to be they're in the last few hours here of this deal that Warner Brothers has with Netflix to make this happen. $83 billion deal to sell its streaming assets and its studios to Netflix. They've revised their cash offer as far as with Netflix.
Yes,
but Paramount keeps coming in at $650 million for each quarter for Netflix. So where this goes and where it ends, and plus you still got to think about down the road too. Yeah. These deals, whichever one it is going to have to be approved.
Yeah, and you might be wondering what might be happening with the cable channels if Netflix doesn't want them. Well, they're going to be spun off into a different company, which, Paramount could buy if they wanted to.
Yeah,
so
and that's the question.
Definitely wouldn't be
as
worth
as
much.
Is what is going to happen to CNN? Because there's a lot of questions about who wants CNN, who wants CNN out and gone, and who
wants CNN to change.
Change,
that matter. So yeah, here a little bit more locally, and let's get back on the sports front because we kind of been having fun with this because of the Hornets stuff in the last block. But Charlotte FC, they've got a new kit. And it will be available as of tomorrow at Bank of America Stadium's team store. But this is what it looks like. Ally Financial, Charlotte's lead and founding partner. They are represented on the front. And as you can see, it's an Adidas shirt and Adidas gear in general. The Rugs.com will also have a sleeve sponsorship for the third season and can be found on the right sleeve of the kit as well. So as you can see, it's all there.
Yeah, and they got a big unveiling tonight. That's going to be happening over at the Fillmore in the Music Factory. And they got a lot of things going on. Country music star Chris Lane's going to be there. Limited tickets if you want to go there to be a part of this whole reveal of the kit. And that Carolina kit, it connects the Crown fans to the roots while also pushing forward the future with the biggest season ahead after coming off a pretty successful seain last year where they made the playoffs.
Yeah, and if you can't get it tomorrow from the team store, you can get it on Wednesday at their website and at third-party retailers pretty much everywhere else on Thursday. So if in case that color looks awfully good for you, have at it.
It looks nice.
It does look nice, and a lot of people are going to want that. Let's talk about some soccer too, and let's go overseas right now. Manchester United, big game against West Ham tonight, and there's a lot more on the line than just this game.
That guy very
right
specifically.
There.
Yes,
he has not cut his hair in how long?
15 months.
15 months.
His name is Frank Illett, and he only vowed to cut his hair after Manchester United won 5 games in a row. So far, they've won 4 games in a row, and as you can tell, it's apparently been a while since they've won 5 games in a row because of how big that guy's hair is. But he's swore that he will do it. That's actually what it looked like beforehand, and what it will probably look like after.
Well, and we're going to find out who wins this big game tonight between Manchester U.
We'll see. Kickoff just started 5-6 minutes ago. Still 0-0.
All right.
I mean, again,
Austin's all over it.
Like I was telling you guys, West Ham, they're in that kind of relegation zone right now, so they're going to be fighting for a win to claw out of 18th place.
Good.
The thing is with the Premier League right now, like this is the chance because I was looking at Man U's next 5 games after this. Yeah. It's not necessarily an easy 5 games. It's not necessarily a hard 5 games, but this is the best chance Frank has to cut his hair.
Yeah, well,
Producer Austin
Frank,
with the insights.
And, he's probably going to lose about 4 or 5 inches. It reminds me of Fletch, 6'9" with a fro, and it looks like he's definitely going to feel a lot cleaner and a lot more aerodynamic.
Yes, yes, and this goes to show how dedicated some of these fans are, indeed, especially on the other side of the pond, to making sure that their team gets a good win, or at least how dedicated they are as fans.
And I know there's going to be a video of him cutting his hair if they win, and a lot of folks are really pulling.
They
for them.
want the head coach Jamie Carrick to cut his hair. If they win.
Got it. I love it.
There you go.
Well, let's talk about the weather right now. Get
Yes.
back to that as we're taking a live look here from East Charlotte, Independence Boulevard.
nice.
Great commute right now, and also beautiful outside. I mean, 70 degrees is
72, actually.
72 degrees.
Yeah.
I love feeling it. It just really kind of gives more bounce in your step when you're going outside, as we've had so much cold weather.
Makes me want to put on the short sleeves.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, honestly,
as Brandon Lawson does,
yeah,
yep.
those short sleeves, I was in that and shorts today. Even my dog was coatless as we were on our dog walk earlier this afternoon. So quite the turnaround from this morning, too. We started at 30 degrees this morning and a 42-degree warm-up here. Talking about this afternoon, temperatures in the lower 70s. 72 so far, the high temperature today. We do have some clouds rolling in, so I'm a little optimistic if that's probably going to be our high temperature. We'll probably see 72 as the high temperature going in the almanac for the end of the day. We have already dropped down to 30 here, or 70 here in Charlotte. Not that cold, 70. 72 in Gastonia, 72 in Chester, Lancaster at 72. Sherrill, how about you at 75 degrees? You got that nice southwesterly flow continuing to pump in warmer air. 8-mile-per-hour sustained wind right now in Charlotte out of the southwest. 65 degrees tomorrow. We'll be in the 50s later this week, though, by Thursday, Friday, and heading into the weekend. Now, 50s, yes, it's cooler, obviously, than what we are now, but that's still right at average, if not above average, for this time of year. So some more seasonable air. Really going to be tracking over the Carolinas as we close out the work week and head into the weekend. Something else we've got to discuss. Rain chances. So two things we haven't seen a lot of recently. One, warmer air, and two, rain. And we're going to get kind of a mix of both of those as we go through this week. We've got shower chances early tomorrow. I don't think tomorrow is a washout by any stretch of the imagination. We start with showers early, and then showers will decrease as we head towards the afternoon. Here's your weekend, though. Saturday and Sunday, 40% chance of rain on Saturday. Valentine's Day, I think, starts dry with increasing clouds. And then as we go into Sunday, that's when we get the higher rain chance. So rain moves in late Saturday, and it looks like potentially a washout on the way for Sunday. So looking at your satellite and radar zoomed out, we've got a cold front back to the west. So that's a shower chance that we'll see tonight and into early Wednesday. Lots of clouds spreading in over the deep south right now and also parts of the mid-Atlantic. For us, we'll continue to see those clouds increase as we go throughout the evening and overnight tonight. Showers will likely move in around 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, continuing until about 6 or 7 in the morning. So most of us will still likely be sleeping or maybe just getting ready for work. But the kiddos that have the earlier bus stops around 6, 7 o'clock will definitely need the rain gear early in the morning. But notice by 8 o'clock tomorrow, we're already starting to dry out in Charlotte, and the rest of the communities will be drying out probably a little bit later than that, 9, 10 o'clock. So by noon tomorrow, it's a dry pattern. Kids that might want to have recess at school might be able to do that. Slides might be a little wet, but if you have any lunch plans like a picnic or anything like that, looks good because temperatures will be, again, in the low to mid 60s. So it will be comfortable tomorrow with increasing sun for the afternoon and evening. Now, as we go later in the week, that's when rain chances are really going to be increasing. So this is a look at Saturday, 9:50 in the evening on Saturday. Warm front moving in. That's bringing shower chances up Saturday night, so Valentine's Day night into Sunday morning. So it's widespread rain throughout the day on Sunday. Again, this is looking like probably the biggest washout we've had in quite some time. And honestly, when you look at the rainfall forecast, 1 to maybe even 2 inches of rainfall is a real possibility for Sunday. Is that going to end the drought? No. Is it going to help? Yeah, absolutely. So that's something we'll continue to watch for you. Again, we're on that level 3 out of 5 drought, so we need rain. And I think we'll be happy for it as we go into Sunday. Lows tonight dropping into the 50s. It's a milder night, milder afternoon tomorrow in the mid-60s, a bit cooler in the mountains, only in the 40s tomorrow there. We'll stay in the 40s for the next 5 days with rain increasing for Sunday. And then here towards Charlotte, 60s today, tomorrow. And then we'll be in the 50s for the latter half of the week with those showers
really
increasing
good.
for Sunday.
It looks really good.
Sure better than those teens and 20s we've been seeing
Single
for a few
digits.
weeks now.
Single digits.
Right, single digits,
Crazy.
teens, 20s, low wind chills.
Love it.
So, got a question for you, Brian.
Yeah.
Have you ever thought about what it would be like to play with a yo-yo in space?
Not many times, but I'm looking forward to seeing the new video that we have coming up.
This is Queen City News Plus Live. So yeah, we've got to see this video here of this astronaut that's on the International Space Station playing with a yo-yo in space, just to give you a sense of exactly how this will work in zero gravity.
This
Now,
is Don Pettit.
Yes.
And says that he is not much of a yo-yoer on Earth, but as you can see, he
There's
is quite
no
talented
competition.
in space.
Yes. And this is, we have to emphasize here is like, this is not in slow-mo. This is actually how this works in zero gravity.
It's like the video. This video is. It's a question you never really asked yourself.
Yes.
What does a yo-yo look like in zero gravity?
But
now we know.
once you're posed with that question, you want to know the answer.
And
You don't
know
wanna
when
wait.
You're in zero, when you're also up in space for as long as those guys are in confined space, you are going to have to find some things to do. And this is
Yes.
one of them that he is certainly making a nice viral moment. It's beautiful.
And it looks like that you probably still have to like put the yarn back on in the yo-yo too.
Yeah, I don't know if you can walk the dog up there.
Yeah, I don't think you can do a lot of things
Good
with
yo-yo
that.
term.
Yeah, because it won't retract.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, so there you go. That will do it for us for today. This is Queen City News Plus Live. We will see you here tomorrow.
Queen City News Plus. Just search Queen City News on your smart TV's app store.